Hi, I'm Renly. I'm a 29-year-old financial analyst at Berkshire Capital, where I've spent the last 5 years climbing the corporate ladder while trying to keep my sanity intact. Some people might call me a control freak with my color-coded spreadsheets and meticulous budget tracking. But those habits helped me build a solid credit score of 820 and a healthy investment portfolio. I was reviewing my monthly statements over coffee when my phone lit up with a fraud alert. Opening the app, I nearly choked on my latte. A $503,749.86 charge from Elite Wedding Experiences. What the actual... My fingers trembled as I dialed the credit card company. Ma'am, this charge was authorized by Diane Parker, who's listed as an authorized user on your account. My stomach dropped. That's impossible. I never added my mother as an authorized user. The authorization was added in 2014, ma'am. College. When Mom insisted she needed access for emergencies. I'd completely forgotten. I called Marcus immediately. Babe, I need you to come over. It's an emergency. On my way. Should I bring reinforcements? Yeah. Call Eliza. 30 minutes later, my apartment filled with the comforting presence of my boyfriend and best friend. Your parents did what? Eliza paced around my living room, her legal brain already churning. That's straight up fraud. Marcus squeezed my hand. You need to confront them. I'll go with you. They're paying for my sister's wedding with my credit. The reality was sinking in. Avery doesn't even know. She thinks they're paying. We drove to my parents' McMansion in the suburbs, my childhood home that always felt more like a prison than a sanctuary. Dad opened the door, his golf polo perfectly pressed. Renly, what a surprise! Your mother's in the garden! I stormed past him, waving my phone. Care to explain this $500,000 charge on my credit card? Mom looked up from her roses, not even flinching. Oh, you saw that? We were going to discuss it after the wedding. After? Are you insane? That's fraud? Dad stepped between us. Now listen here, young lady. After everything we've done for you, private school, college, braces, this is how you repay us? By being ungrateful? You're seriously pulling the ungrateful child card for $500,000? It's your sister's special day, Mom sniffed. You make plenty of money. What else are you spending it on? That's not the point. You had no right. We raised you, Dad's voice boomed. You owe us. I don't owe you a luxury wedding for Avery. Family supports family, Mom said coldly. I didn't raise you to be selfish. Selfish? You stole from me. We borrowed, Dad corrected. You'll hardly notice it with your salary. I laughed hysterically. That's not how this works. I'm calling the credit card company and reporting it as fraud. Mom's eyes narrowed. You do that, and you can forget about being in the wedding. You'll break your sister's heart. I'm not paying for something I never agreed to. After all we've sacrificed, Dad shook his head. This is how you repay us? I left shaking, calling Marcus from the car. They're completely delusional. They actually think I should just accept this. What's the next move? War, I said, pulling away from the house I grew up in. They just declared war. I spent the next morning drafting a carefully worded text to Avery. My sister deserved to know what our parents were doing in her name. Can we meet for coffee? There's something important about the wedding we need to discuss. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, then. If this is about you backing out as maid of honor, just tell me now. It's not that. Please, Avery, it's serious. We met at our usual spot downtown. Avery looked stressed, dark circles under her eyes. What's so urgent? I've got 17 wedding errands to run today. Mom and Dad charged over $500,000 for your wedding on my credit card without my permission. Her perfect eyebrows shot up. That's impossible. They're paying for everything. I have the statements right here. I slid my phone across the table. She glanced at it, then pushed it back. There must be some misunderstanding. They wouldn't do that. They already admitted it. They said I owe them for raising me. Maybe they're just borrowing it temporarily? Dad's business deal with Singapore might be delayed. Avery, this is fraud. Her eyes hardened. So what are you saying? You're going to cancel my wedding because you're being cheap? I felt like I'd been slapped. That's not... I knew you were jealous, but this is low. Even for you. She stormed out, leaving me stunned. My phone buzzed with a call from an unknown number. Is this Renly Parker? This is Celestial Gardens. We're calling about the outstanding balance for the Avery Parker Collins wedding. My parents hadn't even paid the vendors yet. They were just charging everything to my card. After 3 more vendor calls, I called my cousin Jade. Hey, stranger, what's up? Did Uncle Richard and Aunt Diane ever borrow money from you? Silence, then a hollow laugh. Oh God, what did they do to you? We met for drinks that evening, where Jade revealed the ugly truth. They took out a student loan in my name when I was 18. I didn't find out until I tried to buy a car 5 years later and got denied for credit. Did they pay it back? Are you kidding? They said I owed them for babysitting me that one summer when my mom was in rehab. My phone lit up with a text from my brother Noah. What the hell is wrong with you? Call me now. When I called, he was furious. Mom's crying her eyes out. Dad says you're threatening to cancel Avery's wedding out of spite. That's not what happened. They stole... Always the drama queen. Some of us are trying to keep this family together while you're busy being selfish. Noah, they charged over $500,000. Save it. I don't want to hear your excuses. He hung up. I collapsed onto my couch, defeated, when Marcus came in with takeout and wine. Any progress? They've turned everyone against me, even Noah. My phone dinged with another text from Noah. Wait, how much did they charge exactly? I sent him the statement. 10 minutes later, he called back. Holy shit, that can't be right. I tried to tell you. But they told me it was just a small loan they were going to pay back. Well, now 5 different vendors are calling me about unpaid deposits. Fuck. I need to think about this. I'll call you back. I turned to Marcus. At least he's starting to question things. That's something. Now we just need solid proof. My phone rang again. The credit card company. Miss Parker, we're calling about the additional charges that just came through from Elite Wedding Experiences. Additional charges? Yes, another $175,000 was authorized yesterday. My war had just escalated to a nuclear level. I slammed my laptop shut after 3 hours of combing through my financial history. Marcus handed me another coffee as Eliza spread documents across my dining table. I've found 6 more unauthorized charges from your parents going back 2 years. Marcus pointed at his screen. They've been testing the waters, starting small before the wedding. And I've drafted cease and desist letters to every vendor. Eliza pushed her glasses up. But we need more to build a solid case. My phone buzzed. Noah. I checked my credit report. They took out a personal loan in my name last year. 60 grand. I had no idea. Do you still have the paperwork? Already sent it to your email. There's more. I called Aunt Margaret after we talked. They pulled the same stunt with Jade's brother Tyler for his medical school. My stomach churned. This isn't just about the wedding, it's a pattern. Family reunions next weekend at the lake house. Everyone will be there. Perfect timing. After Noah hung up, Eliza tapped her pen against her notepad. We need a lawyer, not just paralegal advice. I know someone perfect. 2 days later, we sat in Vivian Chen's downtown office, surrounded by award plaques for financial litigation cases. Your parents have created quite the paper trail. Vivian flipped through our evidence folder. The unauthorized user edition is particularly damning. You were barely 18. Can we press charges? Absolutely. But first, let's gather more concrete evidence. Phone recordings are admissible in your state. The family reunion this weekend. Everyone they've stolen from will be there. Vivian smiled. A family intervention with recorded confessions would be quite compelling in court. On the way home, Marcus worked his tech magic. I've modified your phone to automatically record all calls, and this looks like a normal bracelet, but it's actually a recording device. You're scary sometimes, you know that? Only when someone messes with my girl. That evening, Avery showed up at my door. Mascara streaked down her face. The florist just called me. Said my account is severely past due and they're canceling our order. Come in, we need to talk. I showed her everything. The credit card statements, the recorded calls from vendors, the emails from Noah and Jade. Oh my God. They said they were paying for everything. I never would have agreed to this. They've been doing this to the whole family for years. What are we going to do? The wedding's in 3 weeks. First, we're going to get you a more reasonable wedding. Second, we're taking down Mom and Dad at the family reunion. But they'll just deny everything. Not if we get them to admit it on record. The next morning, I called my mother. Renly, darling, are you calling to apologize? Actually, I'm calling about the additional charges that just came through. Oh, those? Just a few upgrades Avery simply had to have. The ice sculpture alone? Mom, I can't afford this. Don't be ridiculous. With your salary? Besides, your father and I gave you life. The least you can do is give your sister her dream wedding. So you admit you charged my card without permission? We didn't need permission. We raised you. I glanced at Marcus, who gave me a thumbs up. The call was recording perfectly. The family reunion this weekend. You're still planning it, right? Of course. Everyone's coming. Even your cousin Tyler is flying in from Boston. Perfect. I'll see you then. After hanging up, I texted our family group chat. Can't wait to see everyone this weekend. I have a special presentation planned. The lake house buzzed with the usual family chaos as I set up my laptop and projector in the main room. Eliza and Marcus flanked me like bodyguards while Noah and Avery gathered everyone for my special presentation. Wonder what Renly's big surprise is, Aunt Margaret whispered loudly. Dad clapped his hands. Everyone grab a drink. Our brilliant daughter has something to share. The irony wasn't lost on me as I dimmed the lights. Thanks for coming, everyone. Today's presentation is called The Parker Family Business, Financial Fraud 101. Mom's smile froze. What a strange joke, dear. No joke. I clicked to the first slide, my credit card statement. This is what happens when you leave your parents as authorized users on accounts from college. Dad stood up. That's enough. This is inappropriate for a family gathering. Sit down, Richard, Aunt Margaret snapped. Let her finish. I played the recorded calls from vendors, emails from the credit card company, and finally, the damning phone conversation with my mother. We didn't need permission. We raised you. The room fell silent. Uncle Robert was the first to speak. They did the same thing to Tyler. Took out loans for their kitchen remodel. Cousin Jade stood up. And my student loans. One by one, family members shared similar stories. Mom and Dad sank deeper into their seats as their web of financial abuse unraveled. These are misunderstandings, Dad attempted. We were going to pay everything back. With what money? Noah challenged. Your business is failing. The Singapore deal fell through months ago. Mom burst into tears. You ungrateful children. After everything we've done. Like stealing our identities? Avery stepped forward. My wedding was built on fraud. Attorney Chen emerged from the back of the room. Mr. and Mrs. Parker, I represent your daughter and several other family members in this matter. We have enough evidence for criminal charges, but we're offering a settlement option. The terms were non-negotiable. My parents would sell their house to repay their debts, undergo credit counseling, and have no contact with any of us for 1 year. This is ridiculous, Dad exploded. I'll destroy you for this. That's another threat on record, Marcus noted, holding up his phone. 3 months later, my parents pled guilty to financial fraud and harassment charges. They were sentenced to probation, restitution payments, and mandatory counseling. 6 months after that, they sent a letter. We've had time to reflect. We're truly sorry. Please find it in your hearts to forgive us. I shredded it without finishing. 1 year after the family reunion, we gathered again. Not at the lake house, which had been sold, but at my new home. Noah, Avery, Jade, Tyler, and a dozen other cousins and aunts and uncles who'd been victimized by my parents. Raise your glasses, Noah called out, to freedom from financial abuse. And to new beginnings, Avery added, her modest wedding ring catching the light. To family, I said. The real kind that supports each other instead of stealing from each other. Later, as everyone mingled on the patio, Marcus slipped his arm around my waist. Any regrets? I watched my real family laughing together, finally free from the shadow of my parents' manipulation. Not a single one. What would you have done with that apology letter? Would you have shredded it like Renly did? Or given your parents a second chance after such massive financial betrayal? Is there a line family can cross that makes forgiveness impossible? Or should blood relations always get another opportunity to make things right? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit that like button to help others find it. New stories like this one are posted regularly, so subscribe to catch the next episode of Toxic Family Takedowns. Thanks for watching.